Welcome to BigDaddie Sports, where I'm your host, Big Daddy.
I'm LB Jenkins.
And we're back with you for the hot topics of the weeks and the goings on. Let's jump right in it. Are the Eagles back?
The Eagles are back. Last week they played a game that was near perfect. Michael Vick playing better. Andy Reid's running the ball more. You've seen this team play better. Defensively, they played better. I said it back. I said it was going to be 21-0 at the half, and it went in 24-0. And then they were able to play conservative and keep Dallas down and keep them from coming back.
Here's a bum Dallas team. Bum how they playing so far, not bum based on talent. It's a good night, but I'm not ready to say they back. They 3-4. 3-4, mind you.
And I got them finishing 10-6.
I mean, you got them finishing 7-2.
Exactly.
The devil is a lie. It ain't going to happen. Look, bottom line is Philly played good, but they still gave up almost 5 yards running. And the only reason that didn't come up is because they got up so big early. Their run defense will come back to haunt them throughout this season. I'm not sold on them. I'm still not sold on the wide nine. Everybody's on Namdi because he had a pick. It was a tip ball. It's still questionable. Can he cover in this defense? Too many questions. One game don't give you answers. Philly's not back. I don't look to see them in the playoffs. Next up, is Dallas done?
Oh, you look to see Dallas in the playoffs? Because I don't see Dallas doing anything. I mean, we saw... You picked Tony Romo to win. I picked Michael Vick. Michael Vick won.
Now, mind you, wait.
Fashionable.
Clarification. I picked Tony Romo because I thought the defense would play better. The defense didn't show up. I never said Tony Romo.
You picked the star.
Win that game. I said he had more help in the defense. The defense didn't show up.
I had them finishing 5-4, ending the season 8-8. Tony Romo, your reign in Dallas is over. I mean, it's done.
It's probably done because they're not going to win a Super Bowl. But I think their schedule is so easy. We got at Washington, Miami, at Arizona.
I got you winning those games.
They got Seattle this week. They got Buffalo in there. But I just think they're
Buffalo going to win. Buffalo going to win.
So Buffalo is the Green Bay Packers of the AFC. Is that what you're telling me?
I'm saying Dallas is not playing well. Defense, and we're seeing these spots. Remember Detroit, Calvin Johnson, number 3 defenders. We're seeing these holes in the defense. We're seeing, Tony Romo goes out, he starts throwing balls. Then you blow a lead, so the coach has to handcuff you. Then you're running the ball now. Felix Jones gets injured. It's too much back and forth. They can't play consistent on both sides of the field. They're not doing anything.
Mind you, they haven't played 8 games. And the same thing goes for Philly. I just think Dallas has more all-around talent. They looked horrible last week, but look, how many of them runs are just on DeMarcus Ware? DeMarcus Ware upfield, not holding his end. LaShawn McCoy cuts back, huge plays. So
defensive problems.
That can be fixed.
How many receptions does Dez Bryant, Miles Austin, Wynn have? That's offensive problems. We got the coach not having faith in the quarterback. That's coaching problems. Dallas don't have it together.
Miles Austin has 26 receptions and he's missed a few games. Dez Bryant has 22. Dez should get the ball more. And of course, Witten has 40. They having those secret meetings again like they did when T.O. was there. I just think with Dallas, based upon the schedule, it can be fixed. But only time will tell. Who will win the AFC West? After a tough Monday Night Football game, San Diego falls to 4-3, Oakland's 4-3, and now Kansas City is 4-3. Who do you got winning the division?
Right now, the best team in the division is Kansas City.
Playing the best. They ain't the best team.
They playing the best. They getting it together. They had a very slow start, injury prone. They've gotten together the last 4 weeks.
But which team are you? Are they the team that was getting blown out by Buffalo, or they team that won 4-0 and quite frankly should have lost Monday night? If not for a Bible snap, you're not on Kansas City. Let's remind you that.
Hold on. This is a game of inches and chance. Somebody mess up, somebody over pursues, somebody throws too hard. This is what happens. They came out on top of that game, even if it was a Phillip Rivers mistake.
Let me ask you this: you trust Matt Castle? Matt Castle had the ball in his hands with the game on the line. And what did he do? He threw a pick to Eric Weddle. You trust Matt Castle? That's the question.
I'm saying this team is playing better than others. Now,
so you're being a politician because you didn't answer the question.
Now, this is what determines that. Oakland, to me, Carson Palmer comes back this week after the bye, learning the playbook, getting better. If he comes back this week and starts performing for this team as QB, I say Oakland takes the division. Oakland ends up in the playoffs. If Carson does not succeed,
now see, this is why I call you a politician. First of all, you didn't answer the question about Matt Castle. Then you put in a back door for the clause that you just made. Kansas City is going to win, but an if-then statement.
I have a new starting quarterback in Oakland.
You need a job in Washington. Look, here's the bottom line. Oakland is the best team right now because they don't need Carson Palmer to be great.
Okay.
They don't need.
Minus Carson Palmer. You got Kyle Boland. I don't care how much you run the ball, Kyle Boland is going to cost you the game. So Carson must come in and perform.
Perform what? Like Jason Campbell? All they asked Jason Campbell to do is not lose games. When Carson Palmer came in off the couch a week later, the game was already out of hand and he threw 3 picks. He's not going to do that.
Oh, no.
He's not going to lose games. Kyle Boller will lose a game for you. As a Baltimore Ravens fan, I know that better than most. Kyle Boller will lose games. Carson Palmer, they're not going to ask him to win them. He should be able to hold the fort down, let the running game and the defense play.
Let's be real. When it comes down to when a team loses, the quarterback, the coach. The quarterback, the coach. One of them has to take the fall for it. So Carson Palmer, when the team adjusts, they put 8 in the box and McFadden can't run. When you got 3rd and long, Carson's the one that's going to have to
Let me ask you this. Didn't the Jets try that 8 in the box thing? What happened?
I'm talking about the inconsistency of the New York Jets.
Didn't they try that 8 in the box? Was supposedly one of the best defenses in the league, and McFadden ran all over him. McFadden is the key to Oakland's success. And no disrespect to Kansas City and how well they're playing right now, but your schedule just says, when I look at Kansas City's schedule, you got the Dolphins and the Broncos. I'll give you those. But then you have the Patriots at the Patriots, the Steelers at the Bears, at the Jets versus the Packers. Nah, you can lose all of those games. I just don't see it for Kansas City.
Well, if Carson comes in and plays bad, and the way San Diego is playing right now, 7-9 can get you in the playoffs. Ask the Seattle Seahawks.
I don't see the division being that bad. Somebody's going to be at least 9-7, but only time will tell. Now we're going to talk about some players and maybe a few coaches. Will your boy Tebow play better this week?
Tim Tebow will come in with his winning mentality and play better.
His collegiate winning mentality.
He's going to come in, he's going to play better. Are they going to win the game? No.
Exactly.
But is Tim Tebow going to come in and play better? Yes.
Is he going to be more accurate? Because that's the key to this whole thing. Accuracy and getting the ball out of his hands on time. Here we go. I got this stat for you. He's supposed to be mobile. Kyle Orton, through his starts, only got sacked 9 times. The more mobile Tebow, in 2 starts, has been sacked 14 times. He's got to get rid of the ball. He's got to let it go.
I agree with that. Now, my problem is, Fox, you come in, you like, oh, Tebow's my starter. But now you let him work out the shotgun more, you let him spread sets. But at the same time, I don't think you built this team around Team Tebow.
How do you build a team around the player mid-season?
You adjust your playbook so he can benefit the most out of it. Let's see, the season's over. So you're not putting Kyle Orton back in.
Here we go.
Quinn is not your savior.
But here we go. We're going to change everything we do for one guy, and that one guy's the if. He's not. No. He's not a guarantee.
The season gone. Why
I'm gonna change everything for an if.
I'm not saying
for a maybe.
I'm not saying come in there and rewrite the playbook. I'm saying cater some more plays toward Team Tebow. Get Urban Meyer there as a consultant. Get some stuff where they can win games. The rest of the season's gone. You're not doing anything this season.
What's being found out right now is that when Tim Tebow was at Florida, he had 16 NFL players with him, making him look better. I take nothing away from the kid, but now you're asking him to take one of the worst offensive lines, a lack of a running game, and unproven receivers, and be decent, not even great, and he doesn't have the talent to do so. That's what you're finding out. I'm sorry. He needs help. His best receiver plays for the Rams. What is he supposed to do?
He needs to work on him. The lockout hurt him. This whole
the lockout hurt everybody.
Yeah.
Next excuse.
All right, but he's so underdeveloped. Everybody knows he came in raw. He needs to be tooled and fit to be an NFL quarterback. He wasn't able to do that. Came in great shape, but didn't come in learning everything he needs to be a QB. And you came in, you almost beat San Diego. came back at the end. You came and you beat Miami. Came back and beat Miami. Now, Detroit, Detroit was horrible. But he hasn't had enough time. He has that winning mentality. We got to get him to play all 4 quarters.
Look, he came back and he almost beat an up-and-down San Diego team. That was in prevent defense, mind you. He came back and he beat the worst team in football after looking like the worst quarterback you've ever seen for 55 minutes. And then last week he got demolished by a better team. Look, when I see Tebow play, I think of names like Max Hall. I think of names like Stoney Case. I think he's that bad. He looks like Scott Mitchell. You don't want to be mentioned in those sentences with those guys. And that's what he looks like. And I just don't think this week or any week here in the near future, he's going to change that. I'm sorry.
So what makes him successful as QB? What makes him?
Guess what? He's going to be an NFL player. He's not going to be a quarterback. He's not going to be an NFL quarterback. I'm sorry. It's just...
Denver, rework some things. Give Tebow a fighting chance.
He's not a quarterback.
Give Tebow a fighting chance.
Next up, does Phillip Rivers deserve the heat he's getting for bobbling the snap?
Phillip Rivers does not deserve the heat he's getting for bobbling the snap. Phillip Rivers deserves the heat for the lackluster season that he's having this year. Last year you finished 30-13. Right now you're at 7-11. So the bobbling the snap was just the tip of the iceberg. People are upset. You're not going towards that 30 right now. You're not playing consistently. You didn't back your coach up when Rex Ryan could have put his foot in his mouth, and you let the Jets win. People are upset at Phillip Rivers for not producing like he has before.
Okay, I'm going the other way on this. Here we go. Obviously, he doesn't deserve heat for one bad play. Now, he does have 7 touchdowns and 14 turnovers, 11 picks, 3 fumbles. But let's remember, his go-to guy, Darren Sproles, is gone. And you see the difference he makes in the San Diego offense and what he's done in New Orleans. You see that. Antonio Gates is not the same Antonio Gates. He's a shell of himself. He's still a good player, but he can't get open the way he used to. Vincent Jackson is not showing up, and the other receivers are just not playing that great. So, does he deserve some blame? Yeah, but not as much as he's been getting this week. And speaking of blame he's getting, this is what I want to talk about now. Your boy LT then opened his fat mouth again and decided, oh, Phillip Rivers is struggling because he can't handle being the man. That's what LT... Now, why is he concerned about the Chargers when he plays for the Jets? You
got the wrong person.
Only God knows.
Got the wrong
Let me help you out. Let's talk about LT when he was the man. In 08, LT, 3.8 yards a carry. He was the man. In 09, he was the man, 3.3 yards a carry. Then he goes to the Jets, 4.2, didn't get 1,000 yards with the New York. Now he's the backup averaging 3.3 yards a carry. And you want to run your mouth about somebody else. Shut up. Right, just shut up.
LT out the look. LT out the question.
But how you gonna call somebody else about being the man?
No, LT.
When you was the man, you wouldn't even. Oh, my knee hurt. Your quarterback playing with no ACL. Right, my knee hurt.
My LT impression, guys. I can't cut, coach. But no, seriously, LT shouldn't open his mouth and nothing like that. Back to just Phillip Rivers though. This is a guy that you try to compare with the Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, the Tom Brady. This is the guy you compare, and what it is, you're realizing now that your receiving core and your running back that's not Sproles anymore is not what it was.
No, see,
and you're seeing that he's not the Band-Aid like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning.
That's fair. That's fair. I'll take that. I won't take what LT said, but that's fair. Look, there's only 3 quarterbacks in the class that make receivers and everybody better. That's Peyton Manning, who should get the MVP of the league this year and didn't even play a snap. There's Tom Brady, and then there's Drew Brees. Nobody else is there. Not even Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron Rodgers may have the best receiving core in football. The bottom line is, we thought Phillip was making players better, and he had help. He's still a good quarterback, but that help he had is gone, and adjustments need to be made. Next up, should the Titans start Javon Ringer over Chris Johnson?
Yes. The only reason why Chris Johnson is still your starter is because you just paid him all that money. You paid him the money, so you expect him to start. If he didn't get a big raise, a fat check, he would have been the backup. You would have moved on to Ringer because Ringer is performing and doing more.
Ring is only averaging 3.5 yards a carry.
How much is
but
Chris Johnson?
But it looks great compared to Chris Johnson's 2.8.
Exactly. You just got a fact check and you run a 2.8. Or I'm receiving. You a running back. Run the ball.
Look, it's easy to fix this. We just got to put egos aside. Just like I said last week, put a fullback in front of him. Tell him shut up. If you give Chris Johnson a fullback, he'll be back to what he was before. The offensive line is not blocking the same way. And, of course, now everybody knows that Chris Johnson is the focus point of the offense, so it's always 8 in the box. Give him a fullback. Give him some help. Javon Ringer, no disrespect to him, is not the answer to fixing the running game of that offense.
Chris Johnson ain't an answer right now either. You a bust. Too much money, waste of an investment right now.
Right now, again, it's easy to say that, but he did what he had to do. Because, see, you're mad about the holdout. When you play the soldier, look at your boy Matt Forte. He's doing all he can, and they not giving him a dime.
Didn't give him
a dime.
Didn't give him no money. Still play hard. AP, you get paid. You still play. Chris Johnson, get paid. What you doing? What you doing?
But it's not just him. Now, I'm not going to be like him and say, oh, it's all the offensive line. But it works together. The running back and the O-line work together. They're both struggling right now. It can be fixed. Javon Ringer's just not the answer. Next up, is Jason Garrett's seat getting hot in Dallas? Now, you know Del Rio's seat is hot, and Wizard Hunt's seat is hot,
Sperano's
seat is on fire. But is Jason Garrett's seat getting a little warm? Dallas is 3-4, and everybody knows what the expectations are in Dallas.
I think Jason Garrett has another year. I think we got Parcell, we got Wade Phillips, then we have Jason Garrett. And Tony Romo's been the QB this whole time. I think you're going to change the QB. Like I said before, it's all the head coach or it's the QB. The QB that had his time. So I think Jason Garrett got another year. I mean, you came in last season was over, and you won some games with Kidna. That's what impressed Jerry Jones. I think Jerry's going to give him another year. Tony Romo's reign is over.
I haven't been impressed by none of the dude has done. And that's not trying to take any away from him. But the games he won last year, the season was already over. And, mind you, let's throw on top of that you sabotaged Wade Phillips as the head coach. When Wade was the head coach, they ran the ball under 40%. When Jason Garrett became the head coach, all of a sudden, the running went over 50%. It's the same guy, but when his job was on the line, the philosophy changed. That's all I'm saying. To this season, he's made some coaching decisions that bother me. And I think Jerry's looking at him like, what are you doing? The Detroit game is not on Romo, it's on Jason Garrett. Having your guys, look, Dallas Sunday looked like they didn't want to play. They came in for a national TV game flat. That's on the coach. Another year, I ain't giving him that. He better improve this year or he won't have a job next year.
All right, the Detroit game, it's Tony Romo's fault. It's Rob Ryan's fault for letting the team come back. It's not Jason Garrett's fault.
So the head coach gets no blame.
The following game, when you're going to cuff your quarterback.
I forgot about the New England game. Yeah, he's lost faith in his quarterback.
So, yeah, that's his fault because you can't play ultra-conservative against Tom Brady who's going to outscore you.
Look, I just think, I'm not saying he's going to get fired right now, but his seat is getting mighty warm. All right, next up is what you've been waiting for, the picks. He won last week, barely, but he won. I give him his props.
6-2, y'all. Go with my picks.
Let's jump right in it. This week, we got Kansas City at Miami. Who you got?
Tony Sperano. This might be your last game. I mean, he's not calling. I mean, you got to think. Even when Ronnie Brown was there, Ronnie Brown was calling that offense. The coach wasn't. The QB definitely wasn't.
Stop it.
Sperano's gone. Kansas City's going to win. They just went 4-0. They're going to go with 5-0 this week.
Look, Miami played with heart last week in New York. They came up short, but you can see the coaching. You can see how well Matt Moore played. You can see the effort in that team. They're trying. I still expect them to lose this game to Kansas City.
He walked by an office and saw his termination letter being typed up. So, yeah, he's going to start coaching a whole lot better.
Tampa Bay at New Orleans.
New Orleans, I still think is reaping its own for 62-7. You don't keep scoring on a team like that. And then we saw lose to St. Louis. I think Tampa Bay's going to come in and Tampa Bay's going to win.
The last time Drew Brees struggled was at Tampa Bay, and he threw some picks. The next week, He torched the team he faced. I expect the same.
What team did he torch?
Who did he torch?
Wasn't it Indy? The 62-7? Wasn't it 62-7?
I'm just saying he's gonna come in this week and he's gonna make plays. I don't expect Drew Brees to struggle 2 weeks in a row, and he owes Tampa Bay. So I'm taking New Orleans. Cleveland at Houston. Now hold on. Your boy Baby Favre. Can we get a memo to play the same way for 4 quarters? In the 4th quarter, he looked like the second coming of a great quarterback. In the first 3 quarters, he's only a little bit better than Tebow. He got to show up.
It's that class of quarterback, you know? We only played it for Colt McCoy and Tim Tebow came out the same class. Look, if he plays all 4 quarters, that team could be doing a whole lot more.
Yeah, but he don't. So I'm taking Houston.
Yeah, Houston.
So there we go. Atlanta at Indy. I know where he's going. Watch this. Who you got?
Atlanta's going to run the ball. We got Matt Ryan. We got Michael Turner. Then we got that bad defense. I'm taking Indy in the upset.
I can't even believe you went there.
Indy in the upset.
Atlanta should win this game sleepwalking. I'm taking Atlanta. Jets at Buffalo. Again, I know who you got.
The Jets haven't been playing consistent. Ryan Fitzpatrick got to prove that he's worth this contract he just signed. They're playing good. I'm going with Buffalo.
Congratulations to Ryan Fitzpatrick on a $60 million deal. I think you're a little bit overpaid now. However, he can prove me wrong Sunday. I'm taking the Jets. All right, next up, we got San Fran at Washington.
Washington is no longer a team. You're iffy at quarterback. You lost your Shanahan just confused. I'm going with San Francisco. Jim Harbaugh's coming in there doing new things. Got Alex Smith playing better. San Francisco's going to win even on the road game.
San Fran's going to win because Shanahan's trying to prove he's the genius still. He's got John Beck throwing the ball all over the field trying to prove that, oh, I made this guy a great quarterback. Look, that team has a decent defense and should be running the ball. I know you lost Hightower for the year, but you still got to commit to the run. They haven't. San Fran will win this game. Next up, we have Seattle at Dallas.
I tell you right now, if Dallas don't win this game, Jason Garrett and Tony Romo is going to have some exit in the party later. They're going to get on the plane and they're going to be like, just pack your things when you get home. Dallas is going to win. Tony Romo has to come in and win this game. If Seattle wins, Jerry Jones is going to be steaming. He might have a heart attack.
Seattle went to New York and beat the Giants at home. So it is possible. And in that game, Tavares Jackson and Charlie Whitehurst combined to throw for almost 400 yards, which is unthinkable with those 2 guys at quarterback. They could play with Dallas, but Dallas should win this game. Cincinnati at Tennessee.
Andy Dalton's getting better every week. Now, we got Matt Hasselbeck at Tennessee reviving that QB position, but you got Chris Johnson who ain't going to produce nothing. When I look at this, I'm going with Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, because Cincinnati's defense is not going to allow Chris Johnson to get back on track. That defense is underrated and plays hard every week. Marvin hasn't played well. Going with Cincy. Denver at Oakland. Now, you said your boy Tebow was going to play better. You going to ride with him?
I said he's going to play better. I expect a brand new Tebow this week. I expect a degrees of separation from last week's play, but Oakland's going to win.
Oakland's going to win because Denver's just not that talented. Tebow get him up to play. He gets some hype, but when it comes down to it, Oakland's just a better team. You got the Giants at New England.
I'm sorry. Giants lost to Seattle. To me, now Eli and Victor Cruz got this new chemistry going, but I'm not seeing. You got Bradshaw, who looked like he might not play, broke foot, so he could get injured first quarter. I'm gonna go with Tom Brady.
Belichick don't generally lose 2 games in a row, but Eli's playing lights out right now, and that Patriots pass defense is suspect. So this is a difficult game to pick. But I'm going to roll with the Patriots because they at home. I think that's the difference in this game. Next up, we have St. Louis at Arizona.
Cole Ziffy, AJ Philly. But AJ Philly just got a big win. I'm going to go with St. Louis.
This one's tough. You know, I haven't been impressed with Cole all season, so I don't care if he plays or not. Arizona gave up a game in Baltimore last week. You know, I'm going with St. Louis. I think St. Louis figured some things out last week, and no running back plays harder than Steven Jackson. Steven Jackson's going to come. He's going to come to work.
Hey, wasn't her? I think Tony Romo will be available next season. Go ahead.
Green Bay at San Diego.
Green Bay doesn't need a bobbled snap. They don't need no interceptions. They're going to outscore San Diego. Green Bay's going to win. Stay undefeated.
San Diego's having trouble in the red zone. They got the ball inside the 35 last week 9 times. They didn't come away with touchdowns. You got to score touchdowns when you play Green Bay. I don't think they fixed that this week. I'm taking Green Bay. Then we have Sunday night game, Baltimore at Pittsburgh.
Homicide on the field, part 2 of the season. This is a hard game. I'm going with Baltimore, and the only reason why I'm going with Baltimore, because one, we saw Joe Flacco come back. Even though he goes against Arizona, he came back. And he came back from nothing and came back and won the game. Secondly, even though Pittsburgh has been winning, this is not the Pittsburgh from last year or the year. This is not a solid Pittsburgh team. I think Baltimore can come in and do. I don't think they can do what they did in week 1, but I think they can come in and win the game.
When Baltimore and Pittsburgh play, the records don't really matter. I think what matters right now is Ben Roethlisberger is playing the best football of his career, as far as just pure passing and running that offense. And those receivers, Antonio Brown, and Mike Wallace, and Emmanuel Sanders, he's got weapons he's never had before. They're getting on a roll. They're at home, and they got a chip on their shoulder for how they got beat week 1. I think it's going to be a close game, but I'm taking the Steelers. Monday night, Chicago at Philly.
You know who I got? The reinvigorated Michael Vick, Andy Reid, learning some new coaching, learning to run the ball. I'm going with Philly at home.
You know, I've been on Chicago most of this season. I think I done picked them in almost every game. And Vic's like 1-3, 1-4 in his career versus Chicago. I'm going with the Bears. Chicago with the upset on Monday Night Football. And so we'll see how it shakes out. All right, next up we got fantasy for you. Of course, we start with the bye weeks. Bye weeks, we got the Panthers, the Lions, the Jags, and the Vikings. If you got them, sit them. Don't want to waste those points. Next up, Steven Jackson versus the Arizona run defense. You just saw what he did last week against the Saints. I expect more of the same this week against the weak Arizona run D. Next, we have Michael Turner versus the Indianapolis run D. Atlanta's got back to running the ball. Play Michael Turner. And thirdly, we have Victor Cruz. If you don't have him, go get him. Him and Eli Manning have formed a chemistry, and they're making big plays. Who you got?
Now, out of the Chicago-Philly game, who's going to have one of the best games is Matt Forte against that Eagles defense. I'm going to go ahead and go with Matt Forte. Cincinnati defense is staying number 2, number 3 in the league each week. I'm going with Cincinnati defense versus Tennessee. And I got another double for you. If you got Baltimore or Pittsburgh, play them both, because I believe it's going to be a very low-scoring game.
All right, that's all we got for you this week. Hope you enjoyed the show. Remember to hit us up on Twitter at BigDaddieK6. That's BigDaddieK6.
And it's LB Jenkins at LightBrightJ. LightBrightJ.
See you next week.